is Heather. Welcome to Litigation Help. In this video, we're going to show you how to do your own affidavit. So with me here today is Heather Douglas. Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so when people have to go for motions, so they have to file what are called motion records, and we did it in another video of how to put together a motion record. And in the motion record, you usually have to include something called an affidavit. Now, in this video, we're going to show everyone, Heather is actually, show everyone what an affidavit is supposed to look like. So usually when people go on the Ontario Court Forms website that's provided by the Ministry of Attorney General, they will get a template and it will look something like this. So it says Form 4D and it says affidavit, and there's something called general heading here in italics, and then it's got a whole bunch of blanks. And so this is what the court has provided in terms of template. But actually, an affidavit, it looks quite different. A completed affidavit actually looks like this. I'm going to just minimize that. And so this is actually what an affidavit looks like. And I'm going to ask Heather to walk us through the different parts of the affidavit and just explain what part is what and what the purpose is for the sections.
So first we have the court file number. So when you started your lawsuit, you would have been given a number by the government, and the ministry would have named this 2468-19. And then here we have Ontario Superior Court of Justice, and beneath this is the title of proceedings, and it's the same throughout the lawsuit. So your affidavit, your notice of motion, the front page of the motion record will all have the same look to it.
Oh, before we continue, I guess we should tell everyone that this type of forms is applicable for people who are litigating in the Ontario Superior Court?
Exactly. If you're in a small claims court or you're in a tribunal, you're going to have different court forms that you're going to use.
What about family law people?
Family law has its own court forms as well. Right. And you can find it on the same website.
Right. I will have a link in the description.
These are just the rules of civil procedure forms, and those will be under family law rules.
Right. Perfect.
And here we have affidavit, and it says here, I am Sam Miller, City of Toronto, Province of Ontario. The plaintiff in this action make oath and say. The court form, if I can just pull up.
Okay, yeah.
So you'll see here it says I, and then the italics, full name of deponent. So that's the person for who the affidavit is in the name of. So this is the affidavit of Sam Miller. It says I, Sam Miller, of the city, so if you're in Toronto, of the province of Ontario. And you see the italics part, says where the deponent is a lawyer, officer, member, or employee of the party, set out the deponent's capacity. So you could say I, Sam Miller, vice president of the corporation, or I, Sam Miller, the lawyer for the plaintiff, and then make oath and say. And then your paragraphs are all numbered. So you'll set out the statement of facts in consecutively numbered paragraphs. And on this one, we put our paragraphs in, and we used a font size 12, and we made it double spaced.
Right.
And that's because the courts dictate that in the rules to have it size 12 and double spaced. We've agreed here we have a dispute about mediation, so our affidavit touches on the mediation. And usually you'll look at what you're seeking and then what the test is. So if you need to have a certain step completed, so you should make sure your affidavit mentions whatever step needed to be completed. And then at the bottom, you'll see that the affiant, so the person whose affidavit it is, Sam Miller, he has a line for where he's going to swear. And then next to it is a commissioner will sign. So a commissioner can be someone like a lawyer, a paralegal, or people who get a commissioner stamp.
Mhm.
Sometimes law clerks will get them, and they can commission it.
Now, they shouldn't sign ahead of time, right? They have to
No.
sign in front of the commissioner? Is that the idea?
You always have to sign in front of the commissioner. And yeah, you cannot sign ahead of time. And that commissioner must also sign all of your exhibit pages. So in here, you'll see we referenced an exhibit. So we're talking about an email, and we wanted to attach the email to our motion record. And you can't just start putting in emails without having it sworn to an affidavit. So we have an email that we've made in Exhibit A, and that Exhibit A will also be sworn by a commissioner.
And the reason why they have all these procedures is why? Like, why are there so many things we have to do? Why can't we just kind of throw our letters in and that's it?
Oh, well, the court wants to make sure that you're telling the truth. So the point is that you're making an affidavit, you're swearing that what you're saying is the truth, and that all the documents you're attaching to your affidavit are the truth. So they don't want you to forge, a document and put it in there.
Oh. Now, what if I'm not a religious person? I don't want to swear any oaths. Is there another way, like for people who are not religious?
Yes, you can affirm. Sometimes if you're using an affidavit and it's not contained in like a motion record, it's going to have a back page to it. So we didn't have a back page here because this one we're inserting into a motion record that has its own back page. That's the only thing that could be different.
And also another thing to point out is affidavit and affidavit of service.
Oh.
People always get them confused. Can you just kind of clarify that a little bit here?
Yeah, an affidavit of service is, in order to file a document with a court,
okay,
they usually require that you give notice of whatever it is to for example, in a motion, you're asking the other party for something.
Right.
So they want to make sure that the other party knows about your motion.
Mm-hmm.
And what you'll do is you'll send it to the other party and you'll have an affidavit of service. And that affidavit of service has a separate court form that you fill out, but it will look very similar to this with like the title of proceedings, the court file number. Usually it will say affidavit of service here,
right,
and we'll have a similar preamble, numbered paragraphs, and we'll have the same item here for commissioning.
I see.
Yeah, and also I forgot to note that we never want to see this right here where like the commissioner signs and this person, Sam Miller, the signature. We never want to see that on its own separate page. You always want to see it with some writing above it because you don't want, the court sometimes is suspicious of, well, did you take this page and just put it behind something?
That's a good point.
Yeah, so always try to, if in case something puts it on the other page, sometimes you can enter,
yeah,
and just make sure there's like a line there of content.
Content, right? Because you don't want it what's called orphaned, I guess, is that?
Yeah, you don't want it just by itself.
By itself, right? Because right, that is a really good point. That's great. So thank you very much again for coming in and showing us how to do things properly. And thank you everyone for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.
Thank you.